We are doing our best of 2017
Yes.
activities this year. Not best of, but more like a recap.
What was the interesting shit that happened in games in 2017? We thought that would be a good way to kind of close out the year as we do our last show for 2017.
Exactly right. Episode number 12. So I did receive your agenda today about things we'd talk about, Bo, but I didn't get to read through it that extensively. But as I like to say about our show, we're very agenda fluid. It is 2017.
We are agile.
We are agile, even though there's stuff behind us playing about Zelda. We're not talking about Zelda.
TV video ninjas.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I thought some of the most significant things that happened this year is we actually got 2 console releases. So that was a fairly significant event, and it doesn't happen that often. And surprisingly, it wasn't Xbox and PlayStation. It was actually the Nintendo Switch, of which you can see little Link climbing and running and jumping behind us. And the
Taylor,
the Swift. pretty much took the world by storm. It was quite a significant kind of impact earlier on in the year.
No, you're 100% correct. The crazy thing about Nintendo is they have a very vocal fan base and foundation that doesn't seem to ever disappear. And it's all nostalgia built, I feel.
Yeah.
And I think there was a chance really for the Switch to be a nostalgia machine, to be like, this is the machine you get if you miss Nintendo sort of thing. But they've made quality games. Yeah. Every single first-party release has been fantastic. Splatoon 2, Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart even just doing the deluxe edition, obviously Zelda. They've had such a strong year that you can't at all begrudge what they've done. Like, people always have complained about their third-party support and stuff. I don't even think it matters.
No.
You could survive purely on first-party this year.
Well,
and
they
indies.
did.
And they've supported the indies as well, of course. So that's, I'm happy because I wanted Nintendo to sort of come back. I love the Wii U, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
I have a Wii U, and I think it's...
You heard it here good Lord.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. We've found the guy that owns the Wii U.
Yeah, well, hey, it's still got Legend of Zelda, so...
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, like, like you said, there's not, anything new in there. It's, but, they've gone with their tried and tested IP, but just done it really, really well.
Yeah.
A lot of people would regard Breath of the Wild, the Zelda title, as Game of the Year. So,
but you think it comes down to the fact that they built a console that would also be a handheld? Like, I don't know if just another home console Nintendo would have succeeded as well, even with the strength of the games. So if we're talking about its real staying power, I think it comes down to purely the fact you can play it anywhere.
100%, and we're seeing that. You at Kotaku and Lifehacker, that most people consume media on their mobile phones.
Yeah.
So it's really just tapping into that, which is surprising that it's taken this long. But and of course, like Sony did it with the Vita, whenever that was a couple of years back, but just did it really poorly. But Nintendo nailed it. Who would have thought that they'd get the mobile? Essentially, it's a mobile gaming experience.
Yeah, for sure.
And that they would get it so right. So hats off to Nintendo for really kicking a massive goal.
So they're a massive winner 2017, I think.
Yeah.
Xbox One X.
And the Switch is actually the fastest selling console in Nintendo's history. So they really not only
I like that figure, but also I think about that figure and go, is that because gaming as a whole has just skyrocketed too?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, but it's something new and exciting.
Like the Wii was huge, right?
Yeah.
I've been writing about the Wii a bit lately.
But you would think like the Super Nintendo back in the day would have been such it's
so
in their history.
Everyone had it.
Yeah. Because I don't own a Switch. I'm.
You're a fool.
I am a fool, but I'm also a gamer, and I don't really feel the need to buy one.
I think the one thing about the Switch is that it gives you a lot of your time back. So you play it when you are doing things like when you would be doing nothing, or when you'd be consuming other content. So like I literally finished Zelda on a train. I don't think I played it on my home TV.
Yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey I played on the train, played it a lot on planes. So
if you're playing it now while you're watching this show, please leave a note in the comments.
We should be live streaming to the Switch.
We should.
In 2018, that's the goal.
We are Switch only. That's Switch gaming show will be as of next year.
I actually could gush about Nintendo for the whole show. But
but there was another console.
That's right. There was another console that come out. And Xbox One X is something that I personally looked at before it came out. I was
Oh,
like-
fancy pants.
no, I mean like I looked at it before it came out. And was like I don't know if I want this in my life.
Yeah, right.
So when they announced it at E3 and they're like, oh, it's got a million teraflops of whatever,
All the flops.
all that nonsense I didn't care about. I just wanted to know that Microsoft will put some real effort into securing awesome first-party stuff again.
Yeah.
But then the Xbox One X came out, and I did get my hands on one, and while I still hate the UI, I think the experience for the user is so complicated. It shouldn't be as complicated as it is. The console itself is a very powerful machine.
Yeah.
And that's what they said it would be.
Yeah.
So regardless of sort of the first-party games, of which I still don't think they have a full library, there are some good ones coming.
Yeah.
And some that actually have converted me based on the experience you get with a 4K gaming console. So like, for instance, Sea of Thieves will come out next Feb, I believe, end of Feb. And I think that's a real first-class experience. I hated it when I first played it.
Yeah, right.
But, I think the tech now
yeah.
will
Well,
allow games like that to really
and that's the case
shine.
with all 4K, all the new technology things. We saw it with 4K TVs, which are now becoming a little more mainstream, but the content didn't catch up. So now we're starting to see the films come through. Now that we've got an Xbox One X 4K in all its glory console, the content creators still need to catch up and create content that's optimized for that platform. So it's just that trailing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if it's like I don't even know if most people would look at it this way, but I remember when I got it, it also came with Planet Earth 2 in 4K.
Right.
And that was the test. Like that, I'm so massive on those kind of docos. Once I saw that,
Yeah. You felt like you're back in JB selling,
and
selling TVs.
at the time, Bo, I only had a 1080p television, so it was actually downscaling in 4K. Now I have a 4K television, which I got in the Click Frenzy sales for $10.
Wow.
Click Frenzy, yeah.
From
Click Frenzy, yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's a.
I thought you could do a
it's an
brand
LG.
plug.
It's
Yeah,
an LG.
right.
It's an LG. Great telly. And that experience, like seeing the difference, you can tell when it's in your own house. I feel like when you go to a shop, you can't really tell that much. But yeah, I truly think that 4K gaming will be the thing this year.
Oh,
like,
for 2018.
For 2018,
yeah.
yeah, so.
Well, we had the fortunate experience at IGN to play Assassin's Creed Origins in 4K on a 4K TV.
Oh, yeah.
But and you're like, wow, like.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
You're like, man,
And things
I
like-
didn't like. I wasn't actually playing. I was standing next to the person playing, and I was like, this is fine. Like, I'm happy to watch this person play because he's so friggin' magnificent.
I actually think one of the big things that it helps as well is, and this is sort of this real niche at the moment, but video game photography. People that are taking photos in photo mode in video games, I think with 4K, you'll really start to see it sort of develop as this really niche area. Like Horizon Zero Dawn 4K PS Pro, pictures from that look so much better than pictures from a 1080p. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So it's just, and I think the same thing will happen with games that want to take advantage of that. Uncharted's another one that has a photo mode. Like a lot of games are putting it in these days just to have a look at. Even Super Mario Odyssey has one.
Yeah, right.
So,
Catch the nipples.
I think that was another big thing in 2017. Like for this photo mode thing, sort of is slowly creeping its way into the consciousness of gamers worldwide.
You can set up an art studio like Samuel L. Jackson in Unbreakable with his comic book art. You can set one up for video games.
Yeah,
Do not copyright that gaming show if anyone's thinking of starting a video game art gallery.
Haven't seen Unbreakable, sorry.
Oh.
That's M. Night Shyamalan.
It is.
Signs is the one I'd go for, Bowie.
Right, all right. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one. But yeah, so, the Xbox One X, it's the half-step cycle, so it's not the full kind of, new console, but it's, a half-step. Enough there to get your attention maybe when the content's catched up, so maybe next year get
one thing that Xbox is really good at is entertainment value. So they built a console to take advantage of like a connected home, like a smart home almost.
Yeah.
So truthfully, the one thing that I use my Xbox One for the most is Netflix, the NBA app, watching 4K.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That's what I use it for now. And that's not to say that Microsoft's first party and games aren't great, because they will look good on the console. But I haven't still got past the UI thing. I've
Yeah.
been using PlayStation for so long. I think it's a real hard thing to have both
transition,
consoles and
yeah.
be like, it's like using Apple and
Yeah,
Samsung. In a
yeah.
way.
Well, there was something interesting just on Xbox that I actually missed this, but when I was doing research for the show, yes, believe it or not, I actually do research for the show.
PhD in video game research.
Yeah, well, there is a Dr. Uche in the family, but it's not me. Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, actually said that Microsoft will probably debut a streaming service that doesn't require a console for some types of content. So actually going down the path of actually streaming games through your TV and just doing away with the Xbox entirely. And it's like, that's like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, crazy for the head of Xbox to be saying that.
Yeah, of course. Phil likes to say things like that, as you know, Bo. He does get, he gets a bit philosophical. Philosophical, in fact.
well,
and he just goes,
Does
a
he
bit forward.
spectre like about things?
It's close, but not.
No, come on, that was good.
So I think there will be an opportunity for those kind of things to happen, just not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Surely.
I just thought that was fascinating.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
it's,
no, it's an interesting thing for him to say.
Someone said that handhelds were going to be the biggest console of 2017. A couple of years ago, we'd all be laughing at them and say, "Yeah, no." I just think it was just
True.
I think, but it's just indicative of like all the crazy shit that was happening in 2017. That just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, like we're really, the medium's really, really evolved. Like I felt like there was a real lot of change this year.
Yeah.
With that console release and the Switch.
Yeah, but what do you think he actually means by that statement? Do you think he's streaming games straight to like some tiny little box, or like just pure entertainment stuff?
Yeah, well,
That's the interesting thing for me.
Yeah,
where will they go? Because I think in the future a lot of things will live in the cloud.
Yeah,
But now we're talking like this isn't for 2018. This is for This is our 2024 end of best of show.
Yeah.
Where we're saying next year, it's all cloud.
Yeah.
And they've done away with the home console, and now our home consoles are this big, implanted in our brains.
Well, Elon Musk has speculated about the neuron network. So, mate,
See, we can really go to a great cross-section of science and tech here on this show. We can really go whichever way we like, in fact, Bo.
yeah,
And that's why we're going to talk about games instead next.
yeah, because it was also after the consoles came out, there were some pretty good games that came out this year as well, and
I would say, in fact, one of the best years for gaming in general.
Is that
from
so?
a game quality point of view?
yeah.
That we've seen for probably 4 or 5 years.
And
I think
good timing with Assassin's Creed Origins showing on the screen behind us, because
right.
that was it's
one of them.
Yeah, it's one of them. But it's what is it, 7 or 8, 9, 10, 42 in the series, and they've managed to come back. Obviously, an origin story because of the name, haha.
Yeah.
But really introducing an established IP in a new and fresh way, and
They
killed it.
needed to.
Yeah,
they
of course,
bloody
yeah.
needed to restart that franchise, and I'm glad they did. I did get a chance to play it quite extensively, and I like it, but it's still samey.
Yeah.
I think, but taking a fresh approach,
Yeah.
which is what I like to see. As long as the devs are trying to innovate in some
Yeah.
way and not just pumping out years, and that's what helped. They had 2 years this time,
Yeah.
as opposed to the year they had in between the others. There was a lot of love for Horizon at the start of the year, and I think
was.
it's completely been eclipsed by so many games that come out.
Yeah.
But I think we forget how good Horizon.
But forget how
was.
great it was, right? Like, yeah, because at the time, all talk was about Game of the Year, like, end the polls now. Horizon's won.
Yeah, before Zelda came out.
Before
that's
Zelda
right.
came out.
Yeah.
But I think credit to it was new IP as well. So like that was.
Well, that's the fantastic thing. Like, you want to see. Personally, if Horizon won Game of the Year over Zelda, I wouldn't have been upset. I still think Zelda's the Game of the Year, but I just like the fact that we should celebrate new IP in a way. We talked about the Game Awards a lot last week, which you can go check out on our Facebook page. But the things like new IP like Horizon, and then you look at indie games like Cuphead, of course, which was just playing on the back as well.
Yeah.
Those kind of games being celebrated, that's what we need.
No, 100%, and that was
Those kind of games being celebrated, we need. Oh, by the way, let's watch Star Wars, and I love things from 30 years ago. But you know what I mean? Like, we still need the new IPs.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And we should celebrate.
But that's what was so great about this year is that we had the Assassin's Creed, which keep you excited about stuff you love, but there was like really cool new shit.
Yeah.
And Cuphead, like again, like, something that kind of took everyone by surprise, and made by a studio of 14, and won Best Indie Title at the recent Game Awards, and is getting a lot of accolades from the industry, and so stuff like that being really popular, but also PlayerUnknown, PUBG, kind of sneaking up on everyone, just taking a mode from one game and turning it into this whole kind of new, almost like subgenre of game, and to the point where Xbox have now put it on the Microsoft now put it on the Xbox. They're turning it into an esports title. So like that, I think as well is like another iteration of what we're seeing what we've seen in the industry this year. Is just something like that, like. Because I remember like when my really cluey friends in the know were like, "Oh my God, you got to play this game," and I was like, "Okay, all right, like never heard of it. I don't know what it is. It's Hunger Games. Like, oh my God, what are you, a 14-year-old girl?" But it's like, but no, like.
Well, they should have said Battle Royale, Raw.
Well, they were speaking to knew their audience.
They read the room.
Yeah, and so you look at something like that, which is getting tremendous acclaim. And then you look at the CODs and Battlefields, which have come out but are kind of aren't doing as well as what they've done in previous years. Like they're not, they're kind of plateaued or kind of starting to. Well, I wouldn't say decline, but they're plateaued. So I think.
Yeah, well, I think COD still sold like the most this year or something like that.
Yeah,
I read recently COD had the most sales overall in Australia for this year.
Yeah, right.
And it's been out for 5 weeks or something like that. So. While it looks like it's plateauing, it actually isn't. And again, I was saying earlier, games are. The Switch is a fast-selling console. We'll keep seeing those records broken because more people will play.
Yeah.
And it becomes slowly more ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Word association, Bo. I'm going to give you a game, and then you just say to me with one word that you associate with it this year.
This is more a reflection on my mindset than it is.
But that's perfectly fine. That's what word association's all about. All right, Super Mario Odyssey.
Fun.
Okay, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Cool. I'm not going to be good at this.
Cuphead.
Hard.
We'll go with Call of Duty World War II.
Boring.
Wow.
I'm not done with
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Rip off.
Well then, that's 5 good ones. But I wanted to start in Battlefront because that is probably one of the huge issues of 2017.
Yeah.
One that only sort of recently come to the fold. So, if you're not aware, EA own a part of Disney's little Star Wars universe in that they can make video games about Star Wars. So Battlefront 2 is a first-person / third-person shooter. It's a massively multiplayer online game, and it's set in the Star Wars universe. Battlefront 2 came out, I think, on PlayStation 2, like the original Battlefront 2, a long, long time ago. And EA decided, in their collective wisdom, and maybe collective greed, that what they do is they would put loot boxes in the game that would allow you to unlock things, but only if you did a certain amount of, basically put in 40 hours of play to unlock certain heroes and stuff like that. So it's
grinding like a motherfucker.
Grinding, that's right. Unless you wanted to pay, then you could get a few little rewards, a few little things that would actually help you be better at the game, basically.
Yeah.
So this whole pay to win, pay to play, pay to win sort of model, really... I think it come to a head with EA Battlefront 2. Yeah. I think it
has been present. It has been present in games for a long time.
Even Overwatch uses, all the loot boxes and loot crates and.
Yeah, but it's been a little more weighted. Well, weighted a little more evenly. Like I guess that's fair to say. But just with the new Battlefront 2. Yeah, it was very, very obvious, and there was a guy on Reddit, that bastion of. Investigative journalism that is he actually compiled some research and he worked out how many hours it would take to unlock the most powerful characters in the game, and it was, I can't remember the amount of time, it was a ridiculous amount of time. I think it was 40 plus. Yeah,
I think something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's just showing that it's like this system is not geared towards you naturally unlocking these powerful characters.
Yeah.
If you pay money, additional money to what you paid to play the game, you can unlock them a lot quicker, right? So, but it's still a gamble, and I use that word on purpose. When you buy this unknown loot box, like what's actually going to be in it to unlock these characters?
That's right.
Which is and I use that word specifically because there are governments now, one federal government and a couple of state governments that have actually identified Battlefront 2 as a gambling system. So,
Which is that's crazy, Bo, because yes,
Right?
I'm pretty sure it's now. You can correct me if you want, but I'm pretty sure it's still just an M-rated game. Is that correct? Because if it is, I can be 10 years old and I can walk into a retailer and I can buy that game. Is that true?
well, I don't know the rating on it. We can,
MA15 plus games you can't. You need,
right. Well,
you need,
but you can download it from the store.
well, you need a credit card / debit card or PSN card. Or you just buy a PSN card and you go and buy it off the store. Good point.
So
Basically, 10-year-olds can play this. What I was getting at is that 10-year-olds can play this game, and then 10-year-olds can also play the gambling aspect.
well,
of this
even
game.
if you're 15 years old, you can't gamble. So
Yeah, true, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even if you're 17.
well. You can go to war and fight for your country, but you can't gamble at you can't gamble in Battlefront 2.
You can drive my car to the RSL, but I can't put any money in the pokies.
No, it's outrageous. But no, but why was that significant? Because it was significant because it was shone a light on a new, well, not new, but like a very, very kind of advanced monetization system that EA put in place for a very significant title. But significant because of gamer backlash, they actually repealed the kind of high
That system.
thresholds
Yeah.
to the system. Didn't repeal the system entirely, but just repealed how hard it was to get these characters because of gamers speaking out and our investigative journalist friends over at Reddit. So, that's quite a significant thing for a community within the games industry to actually affect the business strategy for a publicly listed company, global company. I thought it was quite significant.
Not unprecedented.
Not unprecedented?
Especially not unprecedented with EA.
Oh, wow.
All right, so there's two things about this specific incident with the Battlefront 2, and I think it's one of the biggest issues of the year. And it will be one of the biggest issues going into 2018, how this system holds up, how loot crates are viewed, and how big studios like that make money. Because if you even look at places like Rockstar, obviously haven't put out a new game since GTA 5, just have basically used their online component to keep making cash. I mean, I'm sure they're making, they're making stuff.
Yeah, well, Doomsday Heist is out. Doomsday Heist for GTA Online.
I think it's out now.
It's out now,
I think so, yeah. So that's what I mean, like they're just still making those they're making those things to make money.
Yeah. Well, but they also have, they do have a system in there, which is similar in a way. So I don't play GTA Online, so I'm just taking this from my extensive research I did before this episode.
That's what we're about.
The shark cards, which are essentially the loot boxes of GTA Online. But apparently, and if you've ever been on a GTA article on any major games website around the world, you will know how vocal the GTA fan base is about everything, especially if you give it anything less than a 10. For them not to be in open revolt about these shark cards must mean it works, right? So it must mean that the community...
Shark
and the
cards
gaming,
slightly different, but I get where you're coming from.
Kind of On that, I found out, and this I read, I was like, I had to fact check this, that Take-Two Interactive make $5 million a day from shark cards alone.
Doesn't surprise me at all, not even slightly. That just lines the pockets, doesn't it?
Well, but it just shows there's a system that works where the community will accept it, that can actually make revenue for the business. And everyone's still playing GTA Online. It's still the highest selling game
there's so
each
many
week.
competing factors that go into that specific game and why it continues to sell and why people continue to play it. The one game that I was talking about was Battlefront 2. So there's two reasons why it exploded. One, obviously we found out microtransactions were bullshit, and how many hours you need to put into this game was untenable. You couldn't do it and actually enjoy the game. Two, Star Wars fans are friggin' crybabies anyway. So it doesn't matter what I'm one of the biggest. So I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
But that fan base is as vocal as any.
Yeah.
So
it's just a combination of factors.
that, microtransactions, and then third reason, EA is the most hated company in, maybe on planet Earth.
Yeah.
So
Which I think is a little unjust. Like, I think that's, a fairly shitty system, but like, most hated company on Earth, like, ExxonMobil like pours oil into the
you
Gulf.
do think
like,
gamers care about ExxonMobil pouring fucking oil into the Gulf, mate? They don't give two.
No, I know, but it just like, I'm thinking about most evil company. Like, come on, like, kidding me? Anyway, but
Yeah,
that's
no,
detracting
but
from what
I
I'm saying.
completely agree with what you're saying about that as well. Like, yes, there are far more evil companies and far more damaging to humanity's existence, but this is what I mean.
Yeah.
People love their pop culture.
Yeah.
And I think in 2017 we saw that come to a head with this specific instance where it was EA, it was Battlefront, it was Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was all like, I'm not waiting 40 hours to play as Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just Darth Maul, but I get it as well.
He does have the double-edged lightsaber, and he
Yeah.
does spin it pretty cool.
I mean, Darth
So-
Maul is, the only reason to watch the prequel trilogy. Really.
Well, pretty much.
I mean, I would have loved to do a Star Wars show today, but we're not here for that reason.
No, we're not,
mate.
and I haven't seen it yet, so shut up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no spoilers. Yeah, so it and you understand too, like the Disney license for Star Wars would have been exorbitant. So EA did
Yeah.
need to make that back. So you understand all the thinking behind it.
Well, this is why I like having you on the show, Bo. And I say I like having you on. You have me on most of the time. But this is why your smarts are good. Because, it's actually correct. Like, no one thinks about EA's point of view, do they? They just kind of go, you're an evil company and you're going to spend all this money. You don't actually have
They
to
probably
buy.
paid $1 billion to Disney to have the Star Wars license.
Disney will buy EA next year.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Why not?
Just take it all.
Then everything will be loot boxes. You'll play as a loot box, like it'll only be loot boxes.
This
You'll
show
shoot
will be a loot
boxes
box.
out of another loot box.
If you want to hear Bo's opinion, you'll have to actually pay for that.
Well.
And you might not even get it. You'll get someone else's bloody opinion. Because that's
Yeah.
not a loot box, it's gambling.
It's gambling.
Who bloody knows?
And we look forward to the South Australian government ruling on that gamble. They love the Australian.
And then you've also got net neutrality just flying into the US, so you actually have to pay for content to even get onto Facebook. You have to pay.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Money.
we are all screwed. That is the general synopsis here. 2017 has been the greatest year for games. It's been the greatest year for our industry. There's been so much cool shit that has happened.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it's all going to hell next year. When net neutrality takes over and we're loot box central. So,
Another year of
so
Trumpy.
be thankful. Be thankful that we got to have 1 year in the golden age of gaming where we could
Before this
enjoy
world goes to shit.
before it all goes to shit.
Trumpy, Turnbull, we've got them all.
Oh,
Line
come
'em up.
on.
We can make this show about anything, but I think we've got like 3 minutes left. Quick question then, what are you waiting for next year? What is the big thing for you? And what do you hope to see? Any predictions? Anything like that?
No, I don't have any. I'm a big fan of the Total War Warhammer series.
Oh, yeah.
Like that for me is the union of two worlds that I really
Very
love.
loud.
Like I love the Total War engine. I love the Warhammer universe. So 2 came out this year. It was fantastic. There's talk of 3, I believe. Well, of course. The thing is, they never do 3. So it'll be interesting to see where that franchise goes. Because they've done, I've been a fan of pretty much all of them. So that I'm interested to see where that goes because the Warhammer 2
You're into it.
this year
You're all about
was just so fantastic.
Yeah, right.
So I'm really interested to see what they do next.
Okay, nice.
And yourself?
Yeah, I would probably. I guess I'd probably be looking forward to most. Hopefully, Red Dead 2.
Oh yeah.
Which is, that's probably the big one. I think there's been some cool announcements around games like Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is going to be a cool one. What I really like about Sea of Thieves is that it's more about you creating the story. You know what I mean? It's more like I'm really interested to see where games go in that regard, and hopefully there's a few more experiences like that where the stories and experiences you get out of them are wholly yours.
Yeah.
Like Zelda was one of them. I think Zelda, because it was so expansive and because you could basically take it on in any way you wanted.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different story.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a different theory. Everyone's got, and I miss that about games. That's what I used to really love when I was, when I was a 6-year-old and I was playing Final Fantasy. It's like, I didn't know it was coming, but my best mate down the road, he did this thing. So I listened to him and I tried to do it, and then I could get the secret characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I miss that about games.
Which you
And
read in
hopefully
Hyper magazine.
Yeah, which I read in Hyper magazine, and I hope in 2018 there's just a bit more. I hope we just come together again.
Well, but that's what's been so great about this year. Like, we've seen like innovations, we've seen interesting things happening with indie studios, and that those exciting elements. What else can we see from that? Other people will pay more attention to indie titles now that we've had the big hit with Cuphead. Like, that's what's exciting to me. It's like, what's next? Like, fine, Call of Duty fucking 14.
It'll happen. Yeah,
fine. Like, and
FIFA
Assassin's Creed's
19,
great. Yes, it's playing behind us. Yeah, great. And I will buy Madden next year.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's it's just like cool. Start. Yeah, like, what's next?
What can we innovate with?
Yeah,
and of course.
And this year's been a great prelude to that.
Yeah, and we were looking at virtual reality at the start of the year. We were looking at, can AR take over? We're looking at HoloLens. There's all these technologies as well that are really going to enhance the way that we actually interact with gaming worlds.
Yeah.
And we only talked about game consoles and gaming. We haven't even talked about the culture around it. Things like content creation. Twitch is only going to get bigger. Yeah. They've moved into like the fitness space. We've just got so much. Like, it's. Yeah. It's a great time to be.
YouTube launched a new gaming channel the other day, which is just gameplay.
Yeah, right. Only gameplay.
Only gameplay.
And like speaking over the top.
Well,
like
I haven't tuned in yet.
Yeah,
I like Let's Plays. Yeah, no, I just heard it like 2 days ago.
Yeah, right. YouTube seems like it's fallen off a cliff to me.
Yeah.
But all I've seen about it in the last month or so is like, where's my money, man?
Yeah.
Demonetization. Rah, rah. So I'm also looking forward to that. That was the final note from me. Yeah. It was the right note as well, I would say.
The right note.
And this has been unfiltered
Skippy TV
well.
to see the right note and an unfiltered version of that. So thank you for tuning in, the 3 viewers that we have online at the moment.
2 of them has to be us, surely.
Surely. We've had a lot of fun. It's been a great year. We might see you in 2018. Who knows?
Let's keep doing this thing.